So in the last video, towards the last part, we saw and tested the validations that we added to the server side, and we saw that it works the way we want. Now what we're going to do is we are just going to insert data into the database and see how it looks. But before then, we can go back to our project inside our index.php, and if you like, at this moment you can uncomment the script JavaScript file, that is the red.js file, or you could leave it if you still want to try and see if you're going to get any server-side error. So what we need to do now next is we just go and insert some data into the database. So what we do is, remember that we added some validations. So as we can see, letters and the password must be between 7 and 15 characters. So for the name, we could just type any for the email, you could type any email. Also then the password. Now we have the email, the password, the first name and the last name. So we can go ahead and submit. Now we don't have any message here to notify us that the data has been added to the database, but we can go to the database to check and see. So you could refresh or just click on the browse button, and here we can see the data. Now the ID of this user is 1, the first name is Alice, the last name, the email, the password, and the activation key. This is how the activation key looks like, and it was randomly generated and inserted into the data. Then its active value, default value, is set to 1. What this means is when we add the email verification, this will simply mean that the user has not verified his account. Then this is the date that this user signed up. But as you can see, the password is just a plain text. It's not encrypted. So in a later video, we are going to show how we can hash this password. So you can go ahead and add also different users. So one thing we need to do as well is, if you check, the first name is just the way it was entered in the form. That was how it was displayed. So what we want to do is we want every first letter of the first name and the last name to be capitalized. So to do that, we go to our project inside the insert.php, and we can use a PHP function called UCWords. Now this UCWords, what it does is it's going to just capitalize the first word of the first letter of the word. So say UCWords. Now before we try out to see how this UCWords work, we need to change something. The value that we insert into the database, what we need to change is, instead of using this value that we just got from the input field without cleaning the value or removing every unwanted characters, we have to change them to these values that we have. So for first name, instead of using just first name, we use f_name, and for last name we use fl_name. So instead of just passing the character that was received directly, it will be cleaned first, convert the first letter of the string to uppercase, then we insert it into the data. So let's go into our database to test our browser. So we refresh, then if we type something like this, then we could change this. Then we could also increase this. We submit, then go to our browser, we refresh. Yeah, and we can see that the first letter of the first name has been changed, and also the second letter have been capitalized from small case to uppercase. So this is how you use, and this is the data that we have in our database. So in the next video, we'll see how we can input the email verification for users to verify their data before they can proceed.